This video is presented by Prompton Real Estate Services.
How important is it to find a mentor in real estate? Well, today we're gonna find out, and we have the perfect duo because we have a very seasoned real estate agent, Aimee, and we have a newer real estate agent, Melanie. Tell me a little bit about yourselves. How did you guys start working together? How did you find each other?
Right when I started, I actually joined the YVR Global team, so I didn't know Aimee getting into this industry, but very grateful that I did meet her and that she was on my team because she has been like a mentor to me.
Aimee, you were saying when you started solo.
I did.
Right?
Yeah,
but
I did.
Melanie, when you started, you have the kind of like a luxury of all of these people helping you.
I say it so many times, I have no idea how Aimee did it on her own.
Well, Aimee, now that you've seen both sides, right? Your solo side versus now you being a mentor, what do you think are the main differences? And should anyone ever go solo again?
It really depends, because some teams, it depends. You want to get all the information. Some teams, you may join and get that mentorship, but you're not going to make any money. Or, you know, I think everybody's different. It was a steep learning curve, but I'm grateful for it. It's probably beneficial to start on a team because, like I said, it is a steep learning curve. Even from when I started a few years ago to now, there's so many more forms.
What does a team dynamic look like? So I would imagine a team is like if I were to bring on a new employee for social media, you need to, as the mentor, you need to gauge how much work can I trust to this person as well. But they also need to learn. Also, I need to, you know, maybe not teach them too much or else they're gonna run away. There's like, how do you find the balance of how much do you give and how much do you receive?
I think every dynamic is different and you have to find what works for you. But I think in a team, especially if you're going to hire people, have people who come on who are maybe newer than you, you shouldn't worry about them moving on or doing something bigger or better. You should just be trying to encourage them and learn from them, and because it goes both ways. So I think you want somebody who's going to, what's my train of thought?
I forget what the question is.
That's good.
What's the question?
I don't know. What are the challenges that women would face in the real estate industry?
Women have really come into their own in this industry and broken through, and I think especially on the commercial side, it's a very male-dominated industry. There are a lot of people who have a very old school train of thought. And I've been at countless open houses or listing presentations where you can tell that someone doesn't take you as seriously, or they'll ask, to speak with one of the male members of the team. And I think the way to overcome that is to know, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this, but to know your shit.
Okay.
So if you don't know what you're doing, then you're just going to prove them right. So you really have to know your product, know the industry, know the inventory, know the market, be able to answer questions that they have, and that just comes with being in it every day, experience. If you don't know the answer to something, don't give an answer. Find out.
From what I've seen so far, and obviously I've just been in the industry for like a few months, but I think almost every deal that I've done has been with a male realtor.
Okay.
For sure. I've actually not worked with a single female realtor yet.
Well, the female realtors, all I know are the bosses. They don't do the
Totally.
deals.
Oh my gosh,
All the males are doing the lackey work.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
Women have really broken out into this industry, and I think, but on the day-to-day, there are certain instances where you will find it, and it's not top of mind. It doesn't happen every day. There are a lot of people who are really respectful, but I have seen sometimes people won't take you as seriously, or they'll ask to speak with your male colleague, or so. And I think the way to overcome that is just know your stuff.
Whether you're a first-time buyer, seasoned investor, or ready to sell, Prompton Real Estate Services is your go-to partner in Vancouver. Their market knowledge, personalized service, and commitment to success set them apart. Take the next step with confidence. Visit Prompton.com and let Prompton Real Estate Services help you achieve your real estate goals.
I'm sure as a new agent, you're learning a lot from Aimee, who's
Oh my
your
God,
mentor,
yes,
right?
yes.
But I'm really curious.
Oh my God, 100%. So much.
I'm really curious. What can Aimee be also learning from you? I'm sure there's also a lot to learn in the process.
That is such a good question. I honestly...
Well, I think you should always be trying to learn from other people.
Yeah, I think exactly.
Everybody brings something different to the table, and I feel like I've learned a lot from you. Like,
Okay.
no, I have. Like, you're just
Trying to
like
think.
very, very friendly and very open and willing to go into any situation or any meeting, even if you're feeling nervous or uncomfortable. And I think that you can always learn something
Yeah.
from anybody. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
A seasoned person has already an infrastructure of how to do something, where someone new has to come in and they can't just adopt the old infrastructure because it's non-competitive. They have to find a new infrastructure to compete. So do you find you guys operate with different strategies in terms of how to approach real estate transactions?
I feel like a lot of the old stuff is what really works, especially if you're on a successful team. Obviously, what they're doing is working. So it's almost like you want to adopt as many of those things as you can, like whether it's their marketing strategies. Obviously, you can take your own play on it, but it's nice to almost have like a template in a way where it's like a little bit more plug and play, where you're like, obviously this is working, this is what they do for their marketing. Of course, you can then grow off of that and say like, you know what, maybe I didn't like how those photos turned out and I see another person that has photos that I like. Maybe then you can kind of build off of that and go your own direction. But almost having like the grounds and the template is important first, and then take your own twist from that, I would say.
Innovate. You're right, that base structure, it's nice to have things that
Yeah.
Totally.
are tried and true.
So when you're finding a mentor, is there a cap at what age they should be under? Like, do they sort of become irrelevant at some point?
I don't think so. I think the longer you're in the industry, like the more knowledge you have. Yeah, I think that the more years of experience you have, it's only adds value.
Well, I'm talking about those people. Sometimes I see on like Zoom calls when I'm taking the real estate courses, like 30, 50 years. They don't even know how to check their emails.
So I think there's a balance from my personal experience. So my mentor, he is close to his 80s. He's been in the industry for over 50 years. And I've never called him with something that he doesn't have an answer to. He's written deals on napkins. He does he's more in the commercial side, but he's one of the top earners in Canada still. Are you going to see him on social media? Absolutely not. Maybe when it comes to social media and all of that stuff, he's not. But when it comes to actually doing business, he's a genius. So I think it just depends.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on to have a conversation. Where can people find you guys?
Gosh, what's our
on
Instagram?
Instagram.
Oh,
And it's on Instagram.
YVRglobal.com.
okay.
You can put our pages down below.
Okay, okay. All right, sounds
Where's
good.
that?
Yeah.
Just to show how good we
Tell
are
them
on
to
social
email us.
media.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Call us.
YVR is